Hey there everybody, guywithacamera23, and I'm here with my official 2014 24-hour movie marathon. Now I wanted to do this like ages ago, but I just never got around to it. I've got a week off work this week, so I thought I'd do it now. What better way to do it when you got a week off? And granted, I should have done this kind of towards the beginning of the week, but it's now Friday. But I wanted to do it now. I'm raring to go, and I'm going to be following Ryan Chattaway's official rules. Now, if I can remember this correctly, it has to be one at least 3-hour film, one of your favourite films, box office flop, foreign language film, and I can never remember the fifth one, but I'll get it eventually. But yeah, this isn't going to have the pomp and circumstance of Reservoir Reviews' 24-hour movie marathon, but I'll do my best to make it at least somewhat entertaining. You know, it's not just going to be me watching film. We're going to be kind of like saying what we're going to be eating, what I'm going to be drinking, what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I want to do, now I'm not 100% million percent sure whether I will do the whole 24 hours. I really want to, but if I'm kind of like completely, to want for a better word, fucked by the end, I'm going to kind of split it into maybe like 12 hours now, 12 hours on Saturday or Sunday. But I really want to do 24 hours. I really enjoyed doing my Stanley Kubrick marathon about over a year ago. And now the one thing that I learned from that marathon is to not start the marathon at midnight. That was a bad idea. I was completely effed towards the end. I mean, halfway through Barry Lyndon, I fell asleep. It just didn't work, but I've learnt this time, and I wanted to start at 12 p.m, but just because circumstances, I'm actually starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, I really hope to do the whole 24 hours. It's an experience, you know. It's kind of like you don't know how, I guess, difficult, or how rewarding it is until you've actually done it. You can't explain to anybody how it feels to do it. It just, you have to do it in order to kind of know that stuff. But yeah, I really wanted to do this, and now is the perfect time. But first, I need some junk food. And just by magic, some chocolate and sweets appeared. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm all ready. Got the TV right there. I've even closed the curtains to give it more of a cinematic feel, which is probably why the lighting isn't very good on this, but it'll probably get worse kind of towards the end of the evening as well. But I'm going to be following the rules first off, and I'm going to be watching one of my favourite films. It's not my favourite film of all time, it's my actually second favourite film of all time, and it is included on the Tarantino XX box set. And to be fair, any of these films I could have as one of my favourite films, because in my top five favourite film directors. But the film I'm going to be watching is a film that I haven't seen for actually a few months, but I do kind of try to watch it at least a few times a year. It is Pulp Fiction. Like I say, it's my second favourite film of all time. Absolutely love it. And yeah, so Pulp Fiction will be first off. So yep, here we go. We have Pulp Fiction, my second favourite film of all time. And if I can turn the camera around. Tonight I will be mainly eating Zugo's, what they're called, Deli Cafe Spaghetti Bolognese, pasta pot, and I will be drinking, if I can find it, Tesco orange and passion fruit flavoured water. And let's kick off the 24-hour movie marathon with one of the greatest films ever made, Pulp Fiction. So yeah, just in Pulp being nearly quarter an hour to Pulp Fiction, the whole Tony Rocky horror foot massage debate. And yeah, I've got something else. It's a cake, but it's like no other cake you've ever seen. It is big. Obviously I'm not going to eat the whole thing, but check that out. Bruce Bogtrotter, eat your heart out, buddy. I am the king of cake. Check that out. That is something of beauty and horror, actually. It's a bit god damn, man, but it's cake. Cake. Cake is God. Cake is great. So yeah, just got done watching my first film, Pulp Fiction. God damn, I love this film. That was my pick for one of my favourite films. It's not my favourite film, it's my second favourite film. It's just infinitely quotable. It's been spoofed from all different shows, from The Simpsons to Spaced. I mean, some scenes in the film that kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode where, especially the bit where Butch kind of literally runs into Marcellus Wallace, that's Chief Wiggum. Hey, I know you. I love that bit. But anyway, absolutely amazing film. I can understand why people don't like it as much as I do. I mean, it is quite talky, if you like, but I really like it. I really like the film for that. It's really, really funny as well. Some kind of like dark humour in there, which I really, really like. But all in all, just a terrific film. It's one of those films that I aim to watch kind of every few months to kind of refresh my memory of it. It's just absolutely one of those films I could watch again and again. I could watch it on a constant loop. I never get bored of it. It's just a perfect film for me. But yeah, I can see why people don't like it. But yeah, so the first film was Pulp Fiction, and now let's check what else there is.
So what do you reckon we should watch? Man, I don't even have an opinion. Man, you gotta have an opinion. You're me. We have the same brain. You've got to have an opinion.
Let's have a look.
Right, I'll give you a selection then.
Let's see, 3 hour film. Aha, how about
Green Mile?
Nah, seen it too many times.
Alright.
Let's have another look. Aha.
Inland Empire?
Nah, too involved.
Oh, come on.
Fine, let's have another look. Let's have another look. Aha! Perfect.
Apocalypse Now?
Aha! Haven't even seen that one before. Perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, next up is going to be my 3 hour film. I thought I'd kind of get that out of the way kind of early-ish, so kind of when I'm not kind of like bleary-eyed, I'm going to be watching a 3 hour film. But the one I've gone for, there's a few choices, but I've gone with Apocalypse Now, a film I've never seen but heard nothing but good things about. Obviously going to be watching the Redux version because the theatrical version is only 2.5 hours, but the Redux version is 3 hours, just over 3 hours, 3.25 hours. So I've plunked for this. Like I say, never seen the film. I don't know if it's better to watch the theatrical version or the Redux version. Kind of first time watching it, but it's the only film that I'd kind of want to watch that's 3 hours or 3.5. 3. I mean, I could watch Wolf of Wall Street, but that's just under 3 hours. I could watch Blue is the Warmest Colour, but that's just under 3 hours. But yeah, gone for Apocalypse Now. Really looking forward to checking this one out. Like I say, it's one of those films that everyone, like when they say about what's the best war film, they always say Apocalypse Now. Really interesting to check this one out. And so yeah, next up will be Apocalypse Now. So yeah, just got done watching Apocalypse Now. I'm not going to lie, that was a bit of a hard slog. It's 3.25 hours. I zoned out a little bit throughout the film. Not that it's a bad film taken away from the film by any stretch of the imagination. It's an amazing film. Very well acted, very well edited. I love the editing in this film. The acting was great. Marlon Brando would probably stand out for me, and it's kind of ironic because he's only in it for about half an hour of the whole movie. But yeah, like I said before, I don't know whether it's better to watch the theatrical version or the Redux redo version, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not one of those. It's kind of like feeling like the Deer Hunter. It's like I don't know if A, I'd ever watch it again, or B, kind of when I'd watch it really. It's just one of those kind of one watch films for me, I think. We might check out the theatrical version as well. So yeah, that's been my 3 hour film, and next up I'll be doing my underrated film. First off, I need a cup of tea. Yeah, so as I said, next up is going to be not most overrated film, but film that I feel is overrated. That's
what another one of the rules. I thought I'd get all kind of the rule films out of the way first, and then kind of watch films I want to. And the underrated film I'm going to go for is The Lovely Bones. And thanks to film fan Sam for giving me the idea to watch this. I basically posted something about it on Facebook a few days ago, and I thought, yeah, that's an underrated film. Critics didn't like it when it came out, but I really liked it. I mean, to be fair, the main kind of reason why people didn't like it is because it kind of strayed from the books too much. The book too much. I mean, there's a couple of plot points in there that I'm not going to spoil that are in the book that aren't in the film. But like I said on Facebook, if they're going for the kind of the PG-13 kind of 12A certificate, they're not going to put some of the stuff in from the book, because that's quite grim. But yeah, so I've got my massive cup of tea, and I've got my, make sure I don't spill that, and I got some cookies. Well, they're not top quality cookies, but they're kind of Tesco ones, and I got some rhubarb and custard and cola bottle, that's not a cola bottles, cola cubes sweets. So yeah, next film will be The Lovely Bones. So just got done watching Lovely Bones for my underrated film. Yeah, just got done watching Lovely Bones for my underrated film. Not quite as good as I remember it. I mean, each time I see the film, I kind of like it differently each time. Like the first time I really liked it, second time quite liked it again. This time not quite as good as the other ones. And of course I just realised that after the film there is 13 minutes of credits. 13 minutes. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, yeah, Peter Jackson films have like a lot of stat, kind of like cast and crew and stuff, but 13 minutes of credits, that's ridiculous. But yeah, decent enough. Yeah, not quite good as I remember it, but I still think it might possibly be my non-Middle-earth Peter Jackson movie. Possibly might even be Heavenly Creatures. I mean, I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen The Frighteners, and I haven't seen Meet the Feebles. I think that's all these other ones. Of course, the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies. But yeah, I liked it. Yeah, not quite as I remember, but I'm still going to have it as my underrated film, because I did like more bits of it, and of course it is a bit different from the book. Yeah, like I said before, I think that's kind of people's main kind of criticisms of it, was the fact that it diverged from the book a bit too much. I mean, there are bits in the book that didn't happen in the film, like spoilers ahead, by the way, if you haven't seen the film or read the book. In the book, she is actually raped and murdered, but in this, she's only murdered. And also, when they find her body, because he, like the killer, kind of cut her body up, so the thing that they found to know that she was dead in the film, it was a hat she was wearing, but in the book, it's her elbow, which is, as like I say, quite dark for a PG-13 film, so I can see why they didn't keep that bit in. But yeah, apart from that, it follows the book enough. I mean, I love the kind of the special effects from Weta Digital, especially that scene kind of nearest the end with all his past kind of kids he's murdered, kind of. And they've got that one of the most beautiful songs ever recorded, a song for sirens in the background. Really like that scene. Not the best Mark Wahlberg performance, I don't think. To be honest, he's not the greatest actor in my opinion. I mean, he's had his moments. Probably Boogie Nights probably his best I've seen. But yeah, Lovely Bones, pretty good. And next up will be my foreign language film, but that is a steelbook, so I'll have to leave you for 1 second. So just got to get a steelbook, 1 second. Well, they had to take out the whole fucking massive drug cartel. Jesus Christ, just for this. I mean, all those flaws, all those, Jesus Christ. Oh, God damn. Yeah, got it. So, foreign language film. It's going to be The Raid 2. Jesus. Oh, I'm going to fucking die. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Raid. Oh, foreign language film. Next up is a film I'm going to be watching, The Raid. Oh. So yeah, just got done watching The Raid for the second time. I really love this film. It's literally balls to the wall action, but it's got a good story in there as well, I think. I know people's kind of opinions of it aren't usually that great. I mean, they like the action in it, but they're not that bothered about the story. But I like the fact that it's not literally just kind of fight scene after fight scene after fight scene. There's a real story in there, which I like. There's a really nice steelbook I've shown numerous times. I'm not going to bother going into detail. But yeah, really good film. Really enjoy it. It's not too long as well. So I liked about this one. The first one is not too long. It's an hour. Well, the uncut one is just over an hour and 40 minutes. So it's a good length. It's the pacing is very good. You know, I'm never bored by it. So yeah, I really highly enjoy that one. And there won't be much point watching The Raid without watching the sequel, The Raid 2. So that is going to be the next movie. Going to be a long one. Now this is where it gets a bit hard in the twilight hours. It is now 10 to 12. This is the hardest bit. Kind of getting through, like say from like 12 till about 6 or 7. It just like really kind of drags a bit, but hopefully it's not going to drag too much. Of course, with last time I kind of actually started at night, so it wasn't as bad. But yeah, next film will be The Raid 2. Well, we interrupt this 24-hour. So yeah, we interrupt this 24-hour movie marathon to give you a very important update. I'm halfway through. Yes, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. I started off 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 12 hours. I'm halfway done. Oh yeah. Party, 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 party. Yeah, so I'm feeling it a bit. I'm getting to that kind of like drowsy stage, you know, when your eyes are like that, and you kind of start seeing weird shapes when you move your eyes. So yeah, but I'm right in the middle of see that the Raid 2 right now. Really liking it again, even though I mean last time I saw it was like maybe a month and a half ago, and yeah, that's all right. I thought because when I tried before, I had my thumb over the microphone. Anyway, but yeah, really enjoying it. I hope that I can stick it out. It's getting quite hard actually now, but I want to do the full 24 hours. I'm gonna do the full 24 hours. Let's carry on. So I just got done watching The Raid 2. God damn, what a movie. I love this one again. Like I said, last time I saw it was only about a month and a half ago. I'll mute that and see my ugly mug. But yeah, absolutely incredible film. It did work a little bit better in the cinema because it's kind of a shared experience, if you like. But I mean, say what you like. It's an amazing film. Yeah, it is too long. There are a few scenes in there that could have been cut out. I think if it was maybe 2 hours, maybe 2 hours 10 minutes, it would be perfect. But as it is very, very good. There was just kind of a couple of plot strands that weren't really needed, like that scene at the karaoke bar. That wasn't really needed. I didn't think. But it's bigger and better than its predecessor. There's more violence, which is always good. It's bigger and better fight scenes, bigger and better kind of gunplay. Bigger and better story as well, very kind of epic story, like some kind of like The Godfather, or one of those really good kind of about crime families, crime dramas. And say what you like about whether it's too long, whether the story's not great, but you cannot fault the fight scenes in this. It's absolutely incredible. The way it's just choreographed is absolutely incredible. I mean, it still boggles my mind, but that these two films were directed by a Welshman. I mean, the fact that they're kind of Indonesian films, I mean, to write the script must have been one thing, to kind of choreograph all these fight scenes must have been absolutely incredible. I mean, the guy is an amazing guy. Obviously, they had like fight choreographers and stuff, but That he's a great director as well. Out of breath there, but yeah, like I said, bigger and better than the first one. And I think in the kitchen fight scene near the end, again, say what you like, but that has to be one of the best fight scenes ever committed to celluloid. Absolutely incredible. It's like right at the end, I had right at the end, like the real kind of like the quick cuts and stuff. I got a real like adrenaline rush when he went with the throw. I think, oh man, it just felt great. So yeah, the next film I'm going to be watching. Check what time it is. It is 10 to 3. Well, I can't really see that, but it is 10 to 3 in the morning. And the next film is going to be box office flop. So let's see what I can find. Got even my dog's out of breath watching this one. So yeah, box office flop film I'm going for is not a film that you'd kind of necessarily regard. Well, it is a box office flop, but it's when you think of kind of films like that, it's not a film that you think of because it's totally much loved now. But when it came out of the cinema, it didn't even make its budget back. I think it made about 16 million out of the 25 million it did. It cost 25 million, and it got about 16 million back. But after kind of like rentals, kind of video rentals, and being on TV again, it became a much loved film, and it kind of fluctuates on the top 250 IMDb top 250 films. I think it's about number 2 or 3 now, and it is the Shawshank Redemption. Cheating a bit because usually box office flops aren't that great, but this one is absolutely incredible film. But this is the one I'm going for. Absolutely love this one. I love the music, love everything about it. And this is the really nice digibook edition I've had for about I think over a year now. But yeah, I've watched it I think 2 or 3 times on Blu-ray, and also once at the cinema. I saw it when it was kind of a special screening. But I mean, everyone knows how good this film is. I mean, not everyone kind of loves it as much as some people do. I mean, it's not when it's in my top, maybe a kind of top 10, definitely top 20 films of all time. But absolutely incredible film. And yeah, so box office flop will be Shawshank Redemption. So I just thought this small scene. Every time I see this little scene, it always gives me goosebumps. Oh, just the music and that shot. Oh, stunning. God damn. One of my favourite pieces of soundtrack of all time. Absolutely magnificent. I got some hot chocolate. I'm trying to kind of stay awake a bit, and I do not drink coffee, so it's the next best thing. So yeah, let's get on with one of the greatest films ever made. So just got done watching Shawshank Redemption for pretty sure at least the 20th time in my life. So yeah, I mean, it's an amazing. Oh God, zoom out a bit there. It's an amazing film. Sorry, I'll mute that. Amazing film, as we all know, one of the greatest films ever made. Not everyone agrees with that, but I do. It just means different things to different people, and each time I watch it, I kind of react to it differently. Although the ending never fails to make me at least feel something. Great scenes as well. My favourite scene though is the scene with Brooks and when he gets paroled. I just love everything about it. Just the music, the script in that scene, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, it's an amazing film, and like I said before, it was a box office flop when it came out in the cinema because of kind of like video rentals and stuff. It picked up, so and now it's much loved by a lot of people, including myself. So I also remember that it was one of the first DVDs I ever watched. It was three kind of DVDs. It was Shawshank Redemption, Castaway, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone were kind of the first three first kind of DVDs I ever watched. and I am feeling it again. I am getting a bit tired, but I'm gonna press. I'm gonna press. Sorry about that, but yeah, I'm gonna persevere with the whole thing. There's no point in giving up now. I mean, I'm, well, however many hours into it now. At least halfway, so past the halfway mark. Just trying to think when the next. Nope, can't think. My mind's gone completely blank. So, yeah, but what to pick next? Yep, let's have a look for the next film. Of course, Shawshank was the last film in the Rules, which was my box office flop film. So all the next ones will be kind of just films I choose, and I'm in kind of a horror mood now. I've done kind of different genres, and that's what I'm trying to do for the rest of the time, is to pick films, different genres. I want to get horror, documentary, British film, hopefully sci-fi maybe, animated possibly, and so yeah, let's have a look. So it's some kind of horror film that I haven't seen for a while, or haven't seen at all. Let's have a look. Something like Cube. No, I've seen that a few times. Hostel. No, I've watched that a few months ago. Spit on Your Grave. Nah, I'm not really in the mood for something like that. I haven't watched for a while. I kind of feel like watching this actually. I haven't actually watched this since I saw it at the cinema. I remember it being alright. So yeah, that'll do for now. So yeah, that'll be the horror film I'm going to pick for my first kind of my pick film. So yeah, I'm just in a kind of a horror mood right now, and I thought it's starting to get light now. Kind of see through the curtains. I wanted to kind of do a horror film while it's at least kind of half light, if you like. So yeah, the next film will be Last House on the Glare. Last House on the Left. So yeah, end of Last House on the Left, and the obligatory dirge in the the background of the credits there. So turning around. So yeah, not as good as I remember. I mean, it's pretty oh, sorry, zoom out a bit there. Oh, yeah, well, it's kind of basic really. It's kind of a bunch of, I'll mute that, a bunch of convicts get kind of break out of jail, or break out of kind of the kind of the police escort, and basically they on the run, and this girl and a friend kind of run into this kid who is the son of the leader of these people, and basically they kidnap them. One of them rapes one of them, shoots her, leaves her for dead, and they kind of take refuge in. They happen to take refuge in the same house of the parents of the girl who they tried to kill. It's not that great actually. I can't really see myself watching it many times or again at all. Obviously stars Aaron Paul before he became like a big star, and apart from Garrett Dillahunt, who I think is like a very, very underrated actor. I've always loved the roles that he's in. But apart from he's probably the best thing in it. Also got Sarah Paxton, Martha McIsaac. Is it Martha? Yeah, Martha McIsaac. Monica Potter and Tony Goldwyn play the parents of the girl, and it is not that great. It is kind of better than the original though. I mean, the one thing that pissed me off though is they did get the rest of the film right, and they pussy out by having the girl survive at the end. I mean, at the end, before they leave her for dead, she actually dies in the original, but in this remake they kind of have her survive, which I didn't think. Well, I mean, it did work, but I think it would have worked better if it kept to the original more. Yeah, that sounds nonetheless pretty disappointing, to be honest. And I know what film I'm going to be watching next. And I'm in a bit of a comedy mood now. And I want to watch a film that I haven't seen, because I just realised that after this, the only film I've watched I haven't seen was Apocalypse Now, and that was ages ago. So I really need to watch one I haven't watched. I'm in a bit of a comedy mood. So I'm going to be watching a film, like I say, I've never seen, but I've heard people who talk about it say it's very good. And that is going to be Fanboys. Big fan of the cast in this, big fan of Jay Baruchel, really good underrated comedy actor. Not so hot on Dan Fogler, to be honest, but if he tones it down a little bit, I might like him. But I quite liked him in a scenic route, but the films that I just don't want to see are like that one with Dane Cook, I don't even know what it's called, where he's a twat basically. But really good cast. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. So yeah, next up will be Fanboys. Oh yeah, quick time check actually. It is currently 7:25 in the AM. I am right into the third quarter of this 24-hour movie marathon, and let's carry on. So I just got done watching Fanboys. It was a bit of a Jay Leno film. It was alright. It wasn't that great. It wasn't a bad film by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't that great, and I'll mute that. Like I say, I laughed out loud a few times, but not enough. You know, the characters I wasn't that interested in. The plot is quite cool though. Basically, there's a group of friends who kind of years ago wanted to kind of take a road trip to a Skywalker Ranch. I don't know where that is, and they kind of gave up on that idea, and then they want to do it again. Basically, one of the, I think it's 4 or 5 guys is dying of cancer, and basically his dying wish kind of thing is to go to this place to watch a rough cut of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And they go on this road trip, and hilarity ensues, so they say. But yeah, it wasn't a bad film. I actually quite liked Dan Fogler in this film. He was crazy enough, but not too crazy. Again, like I said, Jay Baruchel is an underrated comic actor, I feel. I mean, people do like him, but they don't kind of give him credit for being as good as he is. Kristen Bell, I can take or leave in this. I do like her kind of in herself, but in this film, I didn't really kind of like her that much. I mean, they kind of tried to kind of have this kind of semblance of a romantic subplot between Jay Baruchel's character and her characters, which came off kind of forced. It wasn't needed at all, but it was there. It didn't detract from the film. It didn't really add to it either. I mean, they even stole a sight gag from Clerks, the animated series. I mean, and also I knew the last joke of the film even before I even started the film. It was like totally obvious. And it's like, oh yeah, they don't know this. They don't know. Everyone hates the Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace thing. Like, or it's like we know it all sucks, but they don't kind of comedy, which I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, that was Fanboys. That was okay. Like I say, it was a Jay Leno kind of film. It was okay. So yeah, again, I know what film I'm going to be watching next, and it is another comedy film. I haven't actually watched for a few months actually. It's actually one of my favourite comedies, definitely my favourite Judd Apatow comedy, and that film is The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I remember really liking this. I've watched it numerous times before. It's one of my favourite comedy films. Just love Steve Carell in this role. It's just funny, the story is great, and yeah, so next up in the home stretch will be The 40-Year-Old Virgin. So yeah, just got done watching 40-Year-Old Virgin for, I'd say, at least the 15th time. Remember when I was young, well, not like too much younger, when I was a little bit younger, I used to watch this like non-stop. Although it's really funny, it's got hilariously funny comedy, but it's got a lot of heart to it as well, which I really like. Steve Carell's on top form in this, but the thing that Judd Apatow does really, really well is getting that kind of vulgar comedy, but mix it with the kind of the, not sentimental stuff, but kind of the softer stuff, you know. But I'm a really big fan of his directed films. Some of the ones he produces aren't that great in my opinion. But I've liked nearly every one of his. I mean, 40 Knocked Up is probably my least favourite of his. Although I haven't seen Funny People, so that might be that might be it. But yeah, 40-Year-Old Virgin, very very funny. I highly recommend it. It's not going to be for everybody, you know. Everyone's not going to like it, or not everyone's going to love it, or even like it for that matter. But yeah, I really do. One of my favourite comedies. It's just I could watch it over and over again, never get bored of it. I mean, it's been quite a few years since I've actually watched the theatrical version, because it's always been the extended. The DVD only had the extended version in, it never had the kind of theatrical, so I haven't actually seen that since I saw it at the cinema when it came out. Now it says 2008, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I'm pretty sure it came out a couple of years before that, maybe 2005, 2006. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't 2008 anyway. But yeah, really enjoy this one. I can stick it on any time and just kind of enjoy myself. The extended is like 2.25 hours. I'm rambling a bit now because I am absolutely fucked. So yeah, I'm literally on the home stretch now. I've got one more film to watch. And let's figure out what that film is. So it's the last film of the marathon. What film do you think we should watch? Because that other guy's useless. Anything? Anything at all? Right, I'll pick out a selection. Jesus. Give me bloody strength. Right. So, you got to pick from 2, 4, 6, 8 titles. Which one do you want to watch? Now, I've watched a lot of films these past 24 hours. Are you 100% sure that's the last film you want to watch? Well, perfect. That is my favourite film of all time. Perfect choice. So yeah, perfect way to finish off my 24-hour movie marathon with my favourite film of all time, still number one after all these years. That is Dead Man's Shoes. Haven't watched this for at least a week. So looking forward to checking this out once again. Let's do it. Final film of my official 2014 24-hour movie marathon, whatever you want to call it. Last film, Dead Man's Shoes, favourite film of all time. Perfect way to end it. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end game. We are coming to 1 PM. It is 1 PM. It is 24 hours of me watching films. It's official. It's official. Not that you can see that, but it is official. It is 1 o'clock on Saturday, and I started at 1 PM on Friday. That is 24 hours watching films non-stop. Not really. We've had toilet breaks, we've had tea breaks, we've had different kind of breaks, but that's it. 24 hours. Still got about a quarter of an hour of Dead Man's Shoes left, and that is it. I'll watch the end of this film, then we'll have a bit of a debrief, then I'm going to collapse. Once again, we have done 24 hours of watching films. Well, there we have it. The final credits of the final film of my 24-hour movie marathon. It is now, let's have a look, nearly 1:15 in the afternoon. Like I said, I started yesterday at 1 PM and I finished today at 1 PM. That is 24 hours. That is me done for this year and possibly forever. Because it was tough. It wasn't easy, I'm not going to lie. A couple of films in there, I did kind of drift in and out of, consciousness. But I made it. 24 hours, about 7 or 8 films. Pretty good going, I think. A couple of films in there I've never seen before. And, yep, so as I said before, I'll have a bit of a debrief and see what we did. Yeah, so, time to debrief. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not 100 million% sure if this is the right order I watch these films in. I'm pretty sure it is, but I am not certain. But we kicked off on Friday afternoon at 1 PM with Pulp Fiction, which was part of the Tarantino XX box set, and was my pick for one of my favourite films, which was following Ryan Chattaway's rules. Second favourite film of all time. Absolutely love it. Infinitely quotable. It's just one of those films that every kind of generation of moviegoer can kind of can discover, and different generations can love the film as hopefully as much as I do. Absolutely incredible film. One of my favourite films of all time, like I've just said. And yeah, so first up was Pulp Fiction, and then second up was was Apocalypse Now, the Redux redo version. I'm not quite sure how you say that. Which was my pick for 3-hour film, which was 3 hours and just over 3.25 hours. Not gonna lie, I was impressed with the film but on the whole, it's just I kind of had a hard time concentrating on it. I don't know if it was kind of the pacing. I don't know whether I should have watched the theatrical version, but that's only about 2.25 hours, maybe 2 hours 20 minutes. And I wanted to do the redo one because I honestly couldn't, and I wanted to watch a film that I'd never seen before, and I don't know, I could have picked Love Exposure, but to be honest, if I'd watched this film without subtitles, I would be screwed with that, because that film is nearly 4 hours. This is 3.25 hours without subtitles, but nearly 4 hours with subtitles. I honestly don't think I would have been able to make it through. So it was the right pick. I'd never seen it before. Really I love the editing with this film. I know there's a lot of kind of contention with the Redux version, that there's like really long scenes that are completely not needed at all. It completely kind of ruins the pacing of the film. Obviously, I haven't seen the theatrical version, so I can't comment on that. But it was interesting. I don't know if I'd kind of ever watch it again, at least not this year, I don't think. It's not one that I'd watch over and over again. It's kind of like The Deer Hunter. I watched that once or twice. I think that's about enough. But Apocalypse Now, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I had a bit of a hard time sitting through it. Next up, I went with Upper You again, Upper, as Carl Pilkington would say. I can see I'm knackered. Anyway, next up was Lovely Bones, like I just said, which was my pick for underrated film. Not quite as good as I remember it. I saw it at the cinema when it came out. I really liked it then. It's like one of those films that each time I watch it, I like it a different amount each time. But yeah, good for what it is. It's between this and Heavenly Creatures for my favourite non-Middle-earth Peter Jackson movie. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, good acting and everything, good story. Again, the main reason why people didn't like it because it kind of strayed from the book too much and didn't have kind of as much content as people wanted. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and checking it out again. So that's Lovely Bones. And then, now this is where I'm not certain if I got this the right way around. I'm pretty sure I did, but next up I think was foreign language film, which I went with The Raid, this really nice steelbook. I've seen the film before. It's balls to the wall action. It's an amazing film. I love the pacing of it. It's not too long, but the Blu-ray quality is absolutely atrocious. There is banding up the wazoo. It is really, really horrible at some points, but I think that's the way it was shot. It's shot on digital, so it's not going to look amazing. But I really, really liked it. Like I say, its frenetic pace is what really kind of makes it stand out between other action films. It's just it's not non-stop action, but when the action does kick in, it is non-stop. So yeah, my pick up for foreign language film was The Raid, and then I couldn't watch The Raid 1 without watching The Raid 2, which is what I did straight afterwards. Very long film, 2.5 hours. I really like the story in this one though. That was most people's complaints, that I don't know, it's like the first one, some people were complaining that there isn't enough story, and then in this one they're complaining that there's too much story. It's like, make your mind up. But anyway, but I really love this one. It really does go down in kind of like I honestly think that it goes in with films like The Godfather, Goodfellas and stuff, of a kind of a crime kind of drama about I don't know what you call them, but it's kind of a gangster family kind of, but not really. But again, I love this film. Like I said, the kitchen fight scene is one of, if not the best fight scenes ever filmed in film history. Absolutely amazing fight scenes, and also the car chase fight scene I really liked as well. And yeah, so then I watched the Raid 2. Now I think this was the right way around, and the next one I picked was Box Office Flop, which I went for the Shawshank Redemption, one of my favourite films of all time and one of the greatest films ever made. Yeah, I believe it's number 2 in IMDb top 250 now. Like I say, it fluctuates between kind of 2 and 3, but I think it is 2. I think I'm gonna have to buy this again though, because the digibook's really nice and everything, but I got it second hand, and the kind of thing was cracked, so it doesn't hold the disc. And also, a couple of times the disc did actually skip, and I know why, because it's kind of got some residue on there. Some kind of see that there, kind of residue, and it kind of skipped a bit. Kind of skipped forward a few minutes in about 3 scenes. But absolutely incredible film. It's, like I say, it means different things to different people. It's about hope. It's about kind of friendship. It's about, dare I say, redemption. Yeah, really love this one. I think everyone who watched it, not everyone loves it, but I think everyone at least respects it and respects that people think it is one of the greatest films of all time. And yeah, so that was Shawshank Redemption for Box Office Flop. And the last 3 films I picked were just random films, and I was a bit of a horror kick after Shawshank Redemption, so I went with The Last House on the Left 2009 remake. Not that great, not as good as I remember it. I'm not 100% sure if I saw it at cinema, but I'm pretty sure I did. It's not a bad film by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. It's got a lot of good acting in it. Aaron Paul is kind of the standout for me, and his is also the most kick-ass death as well, I thought. I mean, Garrett Dillahunt's death was alright, but I think it's a bit too far-fetched really, but I loved Aaron Paul in this. It was before he was like really famous, and he's really good in it. Like I say, it had Garrett Dillahunt in it as well, who's a really underrated actor. I really rate him as an actor, and yeah, I just love nearly every film he's in. I really like. So then was The Last House on the Left. Then after that, I wanted a bit of light relief, so I went with Fanboys, a film I'd never seen. It was okay. It was nothing special. It wasn't a bad film. It wasn't a great film. It was kind of mediocre, really. I did laugh out loud a fair number of times, but all in all, a bit disappointed. I'd watch it again, but not many times after that, so I might end up kind of selling this eventually. But yeah, not much more to say about that. That was Fanboys. Of course, I forgot to add to that little roundup bit. I watched 30-Year-Old Virgin, and that was between... it was between Fanboys and the last film I watched. This is about a couple of hours after I actually filmed this. And it's still very hot. But yeah, I watched this. Really funny film. I still like it to this day. It's one of my favourite comedies. It's just Steve Carell at his best. Oh Christ, yeah, but it's really funny. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. At least once. Obviously, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But yeah, that's 40-Year-Old Virgin, and that's me. And the last film we finished with was my favourite film of all time, was Dead Man's Shoes. Absolutely amazing film. Just finished watching it about 5 minutes ago. Amazing film. Love every second of it. Paddy Considine is my favourite actor of all time. Shane Meadows is my favourite British director of all time, and Warp Films is one of my favourite film distributors of all time as well. Really love Warp Films. Love Warp Records as well. Really good soundtrack in this. I recommend it to anybody. If people don't like it, that's fair enough. Not everyone's going to like everything, but it's my favourite film of all time. It might slip down a little bit in the years to come, but for now it is firmly at the top. I can watch it over and over again and get different things out of it each time. I mean, the final scene between Richard and I can't remember what the last kind of character standing was, just a lump in my throat the whole way through. And also it doesn't kind of adhere to the kind of cliches of kind of films. I mean, you would expect if you've seen the trailer, you would expect kind of a big showdown between Richard and Sonny, which you don't get. No spoilers, but you don't get that, which I thought was really, really cool. It doesn't, it defies convention. It doesn't go down the regular routes that you think it'd go down. So yeah, the last film was Dead Man's Shoes, and that was it. So if I can count, if I can still count by the end of the 24 hours, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 films. 8 films in 24 hours, not that bad. I don't know what the record is, but I don't know how kind of what the average is for most people. But it was a bit hard. No, I don't know. Was it harder than the Kubrick one? It might have been about the same actually, because I don't know, with the Kubrick one, I think, because I don't know, it was kind of towards the end of the night. It was Barry Lyndon, and that's kind of really, really long film, and it was kind of hard to stay awake. Not that it's a bad film, but it was just kind of hard to stay awake. But yeah, now my arm's tired from holding this camera. I've really enjoyed doing it though. I've enjoyed kind of watching movies for 24 hours. Only 2 in there that I've never seen, which I wish I could have kind of bumped that up a little bit. But you can't watch everything. I mean, there's only a certain amount of... 24 hours seems like a lot, but there's only a certain amount of films you can watch in 24 hours. But I've done my best. I hope you've enjoyed it somewhat. But now, I have to rejoin the real world. The real world sucks.